In this video, we'll just go through some of the basics regarding Autocad. Now, I have opened my template, and now that the template is open, you may see some other drawings that I have done here. But of course, starting a new program, it may be difficult to understand it. So these drawings that are done here are just simple examples. But what I'm going to do here is just going to show some of the simple tools in AutoCAD and how do we use it. So there's a little red line here. I'm just going to delete that. Now, usually in AutoCAD, you can click, if you're using a laptop, you can click the touchpad. So I just click the line. I press Escape to deselect the line. So to select the line, I can left click the line. And once I left click, it is selected. If I want to deselect it or unselect it, I press Escape. So I'm going to delete this line. So I just click it and I press delete, which is on your keyboard. Now, that's the first thing that we did, deleting a line while selecting and deleting a line. If I wanted to draw a line, I can go up here by my line tool, or I can type in line. So when I typed in line, you realize that my cursor changed. If ever you want to deselect a tool, or if you're unsure about a tool, you press Escape on your keyboard. When no tool is selected, you will see the white square on the cursor. So I'm just going to go up here, click line, I left click line, and you realize that the white square on the cursor is gone. I press Escape to deselect. I go up here, select it again. So you might want to wonder, well, how do I draw a line? Left click anywhere on the screen in the black area, and you can move your mouse around or your touchpad around and just left click again. So you can extend the line where you want it to go. Left click, extend, left click, extend, left click. So you can draw several lines this way just by extending and left clicking. So if it's coming back to a line you already have, you just left click when it gets there. To deselect, you press Escape. So let's go over that again. I selected my line tool, I left click, and I just drew a line anywhere, anyhow. So I left click to draw those lines. Now if I want to deselect the line, I press Escape. To reselect the line, I can either go up here and click line, or type in line, or right click and repeat line. From here, you want to go to the end of your line. Now you may see this little box coming up. This box is one of my polar settings. So on a given line, you may see some points when you hover over it. So on this line, you can see there's a point here at the end. There's a point here in the middle. Try to make sure that your tracking settings are on. You have polar tracking on or selected, and in object snap, you have your endpoint, midpoint, center selected. So usually these settings are very helpful so that you can draw smoother. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these lines. I just left click, I press delete, I left click, I press delete. Or I can hold down left click and move the mouse around and highlight several lines and then press delete. I can highlight several lines and press delete. Suppose you wanted to draw a line to a measurement. So this line here, I'm going to draw this line. Let's say I wanted this line to be 100. Once I select the line tool, I click where I want the line to be. I type in 100, I press enter. If I wanted this line here, a line from here to go at 30, I type in 30, I press enter. If I wanted this line to go here at 50, I type in 50, I press enter. So let's check the measurements of these lines to see if they're correct. Remember, it was 100, 30, and 50. So I can go by dimension. I click dimension, which will automatically dimension the lanes. I just click the left endpoint and I pull down to the right endpoint. And that first line that I had is 100. I can press escape and I select it again. Let's check the second line. I click the left endpoint, I go to the right endpoint, and you can see here that the line is 30. So if I want to reselect dimension, I right click, repeat dimension, I click the left end of the line, and I click the right end of the line. So right now, I just drew these three lines to those measurements. So I'm going to delete these now. Remember, you can highlight everything and press delete. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set my polar tracking, which is down here, at a specific angle. So suppose I wanted to do an isometric drawing. For isometric drawings, you will use the 30-60 angle. So it is already selected. If I wanted to select something different, I would just click a different angle, set. So I'm just making sure it's on my 30-60. And then I'm going to go up here to select line. Now I'm going to change the layer first, which is the type of line, to construction. So to change the layers, you just go up here and you will change them. This is an automatic template that I'm using, which you should have. So I click line. Now I'm going to draw a box. So this box will have horizontal lines, or lines which are horizontal 180 degrees or 90 degrees. The measurement of this line here is 50, but I want you to realize that I am getting a green extension line when this is horizontal. Now, because polar tracking is set at 30, 60, 90, you will realize that that polar angle, it will be highlighted. So let's check 30. 30 has the green line. And let's check 60. 60 has the green line. 60, 70 does not have the green line because 70 is not one of the angles that I've set. Let's say I go to this angle set that has 18 and 36. So I just selected that, 18, 36, 54. So let's check if it highlights those angles. So when I come out here by 18, I can see 18 is selected, 36 is selected. So the thing about polar tracking is, if you want to do an isometric figure, you will select your 30-60 degree set. Then when you come to draw, make sure that your lines are at the correct angles. So 30 degrees on the right side would be here, whereas 30 degrees on the left side will be here by 150. So I have my line angled at the 30 degrees. So I'm going to draw it at 50. I type in 50. I press enter. So this line here is 50. Suppose I wanted to do a vertical line now, going straight up at 90. You already see the 90 degree projection line is there. I type in my 50. So I'm going to do one on the next side. Click the left endpoint. Now this angle here is not 90. This angle here is not 90. Make sure that is at the correct angle. 50. And then I can just connect the final lines. So this here is an angled figure. But suppose I wanted to do a flat square, or one that would be more orthographic, I would click, left click, I make sure that my line is horizontal, I type in 50, I then go up vertically, I type in 50, I then go across, again 50, and I come down 50. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in a few random lines into these objects. And this is the last thing that we'll do in this video, which is to trim off areas. So I just drew in these three random lines. Suppose I wanted to keep a part of this line in here. So I select my trim tool, which is the scissors. This is going to use to cut the actual lines. So I press the down arrow. Now with AutoCAD, most of the icons here have down arrows, which can give you different selections. So I can click my down arrow, I see trim. If I were to go by a circle, I click down arrow. There are different types of circles that can be done, or different ways you can do circles. You can do a circle by diameter, you can do a circle by radius, but I'm going to trim. So I select trim, and when I come, I will just highlight the line that I do not want, or the part of the line, and I left click. So in this case, I have just removed some parts of the lines that I do not want. So in this short video, we just went through some of the very basic tools. There are several other tools here that we can use, but we will come to that in another video.